Yuuya Tenjo is living a horrible life because of his body. Yuuya saw some ruffians molesting a girl, and he showed the courage to save that girl out of kindness, but he was severely beaten. Fortunately, cops were nearby and saved him. Yuuya was constantly bullied at school, and his parents do not love him in the least and have given their affection to their younger twins' children. His grandfather was the only person who ever showed him kindness. He always advised him to hang in there, in the toughest times of his life, and be kind so that one day happiness would find him. But recently even he left the world but left his house in the name of Yuuya. Naturally his parents tried to obtain that inheritance but were unsuccessful, so they disowned Yuuya and left him alone. Yuuya did various jobs for living. If you liked the video, then please subscribe to the channel. But the bullying became more serious as he entered middle school, and on the day of graduation, those bullies continued to beat him, and it was all a plan of his little brother and sister. And because of it, Yuuya arrived late at his part-time job, so the owner replaced him with someone else. Yuuya was frustrated with his life, and agitated with his body. But when he punched the mirror in anger, he discovered a door from the impact of his punch. There he saw some unusual items that his grandfather had collected, as well as a strange door. As Yuuya opened the door, he was led to another world, where a status system appeared, granting Yuuya many of the starting level powers. There, Yuuya discovered a letter from the previous owner named Sage, stating his last will for this house, and it was written that whoever found this house would be the owner of it. Considering that Yuuya started picking up weapons of legendary class, Yuuya became excited and tried everything, but a bloody ogre appeared, attempting to enter the house. Thankfully, the magic barrier was strong enough to prevent it. Yuuya then took a brave breath and attacked it with a spear in his hand, defeating him in a single shot and gaining enough XP to jump to level 100. There was also some dropped item from that monster which Yuuya was able to convert into money with conversion skill right before he was about to head home. It was a rough day, but at night something in Yuuya's body started to change, and the cause of it was his newly power that he received in another world. And Yuuya had transformed into a smoking hot chad by the morning. But he didn't realize it because he had broken the glass himself, but his clothes still weren't going to fit him now, so he returns to that world and finds some perfect clothes in that secret room. And since it's summer break, Yuuya spends his time learning everything he can about that world and was taking care of the little farm that had a rare but powerful healing herbs. Then a monster slime started making a ruckus and Yuuya took it out in a single shot once more, and this time the slime dropped some nice items and a locket. So, with the money he had, Yuuya went to the tailor shop to get a new school uniform because high school was about to start. Then he got a nice supply of food that was growing in his other home, and those veggies were raising his power. He then tried the slime jelly that he got from that giant slime, and those food helped him gain much XP. Yuuya then spends his day training and taking care of things near the house. But then another monster comes by, and this time, a goblin with intelligence stopped Yuuya's attack. Yuuya still got him for good, but the monsters were becoming more powerful by the day. Then, as high school began, everyone was mesmerized by Yuuya's appearance, and they gave him a fanboy or fangirl stare. Then, in the class, those who bullied him returned, thinking to bully a new student, but everyone, including the entire class, was shocked when he told them he was Yuuya, that very same ugly guy. No one believed in his any kind of stories, and his brother and sister began to harass him again. But then the same girl arrived to look for Yuuya, the one he had saved earlier. Her name is Kaori. And she goes to Usui Academy. She was looking for Yuuya so that she could offer him to join their academy. Usui Academy is an elite school that every student wants to enroll in. And Kaori was the daughter of the chairman. So Yuuya's brother and sister belittle him again in front of Kaori, insisting that she take them in instead of a loser like Yuuya. But Kaori did some investigating and discovered how they were treating him. So she coldly rejected them, and so as not to draw too much attention, Kaori took him to the academy so Yuuya could decide whether or not to enroll. But his siblings had some nefarious plans. When they arrived at the Asen, Yuuya met Kaori's father, Tsukasa, who thanked Yuuya for saving his daughter and encouraged him to join their academy. It was an elite school, so Yuuya thought he was in no position to enroll between them. But that's where Tsukasa persuaded Yuuya to change his mind throughout their conversation. And Yuuya was still unsure about his decision to enroll. So Tsukasa had called one of their excellent teachers named Miss Sawada so that Yuuya could take pre-enrollment class for one day in her class. Yuuya was super nervous, as he then introduced himself. But the whole class was so into his look that no one uttered a single word. Miss Sawada gave Yuuya a seat right beside a pretty girl, and since it was Yuuya's pre-enrollment, Hayuto shared her textbook with Yuuya. She was a cold beauty, but Yuuya thought she hated him. Then during the lunch break, everyone in the class was swarming with questions, making Yuuya nervous, but among them was one guy who pulled Yuuya off of them. His name is Ryo Igarashi. He took Yuuya to the cafeteria where Yuuya saw all in the menu as delicious food that he always wanted to try out. Then one of Rya's friend called them to his table. He is Shingo Kurata, a mellow type of guy who shares his interest in anime and games with Ryu, but even in the canteen Yuuya was getting a lot of attention from others. It was the type of school friends that Yuuya always wanted, kind and gentle, so Yuuya made a decision not to let this chance pass him by and chose to enroll in the academy. Then down to the hallway, Yuuya met with Kaori again. She is worried for Yuuya because it was a completely strange place for him, but she was happy that Yuuya made up his mind to enroll. So she asked Yuuya to accompany her to town. They got to a sweet shop, and seeing those two, everyone's eyes were staring at them non-stop. Yuuya wondered how she could have known him because his appearance had changed since the last time Kaori saw her. So Kaori knew it was Yuuya because his appearance had changed, but his gentle eyes hadn't. But Kaori was a bit angry that Yuuya never uses her first name. She tells Yuuya to call her by her name so they can feel closer. Yuuya was shy, but he did call her by her name, and in that happiness, Kaori offers her crepe to Yuuya, which was awkward, but Yuuya took a bite anyway, later realizing it would be an indirect kiss. So not to ruin the air between them, Yuuya offered his crepe, which she ate because she was embarrassed, but everyone was staring at them because they seemed to be made for each other. After that, Yuuya enters the magical world fully equipped with armor and weapons and kills the monster slime. Because it's time, Yuuya chose to step outside of the house. Now as he did and crossed a bit further in that forest, Yuuya heard a person's cry and rushed in and saw that a goblin general was attacking a girl, for its stats are insanely high. Yuuya threw his spear, but it was too easily deflected. That was just a show to land his real attack, yet still, it didn't have much of an effect on that goblin attack. Yuuya still had another card in his sleeve to make it a diversion and end that thing with his sword to save that girl, but then many soldiers arrived to save her, and Yuuya, he only laughed with his invisible magic. So, to conclude today's video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to receive the most recent updates on the video's next part.